like it about this team so far?
Just like, I mean, it had continuity with for the last couple of years, so things have moved pretty quickly. Not a lot to talk in, just a lot of action.
So talk about the bigger lineup with you with the two and the two big. What do you think would be the advantages in this?
Yeah, I mean, we can use our length and size with that lineup. I mean, obviously, it's susceptible to teams can spread it out and play smaller, but I think its advantage is more if we can clog the paint up, get offensive rebounds, get out in transition, get easy baskets. So, I mean, having a versatile team though that can guard a big lineup is always key.
How do you have the bigger lineup?
Most definitely, probably the biggest lineup. Having guys 6'9" always do that lineup. So it's gonna take some time for us to figure that out and see the workforce on both games. Obviously, they had some success with that last season, so we're trying to figure out how I can best inject myself to help the group.
Kevin, when you've been playing as long as you have, and you come to a new team, is there still a learning curve?
Yeah, most definitely. Just learn everybody's tendencies, understand the terminology. A lot of this stuff is pretty much the same across the league as far as calls or concerning schemes, but learning terminology, understanding each player and strengths and weaknesses, and understanding the coaching staff and what they need from you. It's a little easier transition than it would be, years ago.
Is that a fun challenge, though, at this point in your career?
Most definitely. First day of practice is always fun, and trying to understand what the system's going to be, and like I said, how I can be my best and help the team in that situation. So, been learning a lot the last few days. Like I said, things are happening quick. Coach is expecting us to pick up things very quickly, so it's been fun.
You played without a point guard. You played without a point guard for long stretches in Phoenix. Do you think that helped you grow as a player now? And what do you think about the point guard situation you guys got here?
I feel like I can play with point guard without a point guard, but I think it's best for our team to have guys that can handle the ball, make smart plays, make efficient plays, that can be aggressive out top with the ball. It might not necessarily be a guy in the point guard's body, but somebody who can just make smart plays out top with the ball and control the game. So I think we'll all have to figure it out and do it like Coach said, do it by committee. But mainly it's just keeping the ball in our hands, getting a good shot at the rim every time.
You've been in this league long enough whereas you're better where people want to pick your brain and watch you work out and things like that. But how much of being with this team has fueled you competitively, especially being around these young guys?
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, just like I said, it's just the level of intensity each practice has been incredible. You can see everybody getting better. Been here for 2.5 weeks now, so just the routine everybody goes through is high intensity. So very excited to be here. Very excited to keep working with a group of guys. Kind of join their train. Like I said, they had some continuity the last 2 years. They do things a certain way, so new guys got to adapt.
Coach, you played against Alperin and Amen the last couple of seasons as an opponent. Is there anything that stood out to you or maybe you didn't notice before that you notice now as you've been practicing with them?
Just how connected everybody is. The dialogue is pretty open. Truth can be told without guys getting in their feelings about it. So I just felt like they were always a connected group, and especially LP and Twin. I felt like they were always on the same page as opponents, but being around them is even more. So everybody's trying to get a feel for each other, and it's been a good 3 days.
We were talking to Tari recently. He said that he feels underrated after the list came out, the type of hunter he was on it. What do people maybe miss when it comes to Tari, the value he brings to a team?
I mean, a lot of people don't watch basketball that in depth, Tari's one of those players you got to sit there and watch him to understand what he truly brings to the table. But I think people in the real basketball circles that value the game and understand the game, they know what he brings to the table. So I think he's going to have a great year. Somebody that's excited to come out here and showcase what he can do. A chip on your shoulder is not necessarily a bad thing, especially at this age. So he wants to prove that he's an established player in this league. That's always good.
Do you think playing in some of those double big lineups can kind of help you, kind of give you different responsibilities?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, size is always good. Playing on teams who we lack pretty much that type of size the last few years is always good to, know you can grab a rebound when you play good defense or get an offensive rebound to keep the possession alive. Being tall, being long and athletic, sometimes you just fall into good plays.
Does this team remind you of when you first came into the league when you were in Oklahoma City with the young players and how, you know, when you had Russell and James?
I mean, the young energy is probably similar. I mean, that's a unique group, and I think this is a unique group that's totally separate from one another. But the youthful energy that you come with in the facility, and everybody around the facility, the training staff is, you know, it's pretty youthful, and coaching staff as well. I think that's pretty similar because we were, you know, just about the infant stages of what we were trying to do back then too. So you can feel it here.
Early impression.
Overall, over 2 weeks, what is your voice when
I'm sorry.
impact of your voice?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think it's a balance between being overbearing and, you know, just, you know, being supposed to be perfect. You know, sometimes, you know, you're saying nothing to saying a lot. You know? So I just try to lead by example more than anything. If I find something that I see, try to speak up about it, but also listen and be coachable too, you know. So it's not always just me talking the whole time. I try not to be one of those guys.
Early thoughts on Reed Shepherd? We saw he had a pretty nice hook shot score over the other day.
He did. Reed's been aggressive the whole camp, and I think that's what we all been encouraging him to do is, you know, look for his game a little bit more, be aggressive to shoot the ball, and just make the right plays. Naturally makes the right play. So, you know, the more he's aggressive, the better we'll become as a team.
Is there anything that has surprised you about this team now that you're in it that you didn't really know, like from the outside looking in?
Nah, I feel like I tend to study my opponents and try to understand their tendencies as best as I can from outside the building. So I wasn't surprised about anything. Just getting to know the support staff and see how they operate every day probably was the biggest surprise to me. I didn't know a lot of the people that work behind the scenes. So and they make us go, they make us tick, and they get us ready to play. So I think that's probably the surprise, and just, you know, how connected they were as a group.
You mentioned that men has some of the most athleticism you've seen. Just seeing a different guys, what's different about his athleticism compared to some other guys?
I just think he's just unique. I mean, I'm not saying he's better or worse, but I just think he's unique in just his style and just his quick twitch. You know, like, it's like when you're in front of it, it's just different. You know, it's a separation when you watch it on a clip. But when his length, how he uses his second jump, you know, on both feet, you know, on 1 foot, it's ridiculous. How he can go from taking a spin and just jumping off the ground so fast. His launch pad is just different, man. It's only going to get better.